Today I got a brand new DELL Vostro laptop. I'm going to do a quick little upgrade on the hard drive to an SSD, and I'll show you how I do it. Hey guys, how's it going? Dale here. Today I got a brand new DELL Vostro 15.6-inch laptop, kind of a business type laptop from Dell. Ships with Windows 10 Pro, and but it's got a 1 terabyte hard drive in it, mechanical hard drive. So it's not the fastest computer in the world, but it is a 10th generation Core i3 10110U processor. 10th gen. It comes with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, which could be upgraded, but we're not going to do that today. 16 gigs is plenty. It's just general use, business type laptop. It's going to be pretty nice, but it needs a little more speed. It takes quite a while for it to boot up with that hard drive in it. So what I'm going to do is take out the 1 terabyte hard drive, and I'm going to replace it with a brand new Crucial 2.5-inch SATA SSD, the MX500 series. Said it's also a 1 terabyte. Now there is a NVMe M.2 slot in here where you can go that route as well, or put 2 drives in it. But this customer wanted to go with the cheaper alternative. They just want a little bit faster boot time and computer in general. So later on they can always put an NVMe drive in it if they want. But a quick overview of the laptop. Like I said, it's 15.6 inch, has full 1080p HD display. Over here on the side, lo and behold, it has an optical drive for CD and DVD. It has a VGA port. All the Vostros are like that. Has a USB port, has a micro SD card slot. Of course, you have your webcam for Zoom and Skype and all that good stuff. Over on this side, we have a headphone jack, a couple of USB A-type 3.1 ports, Ethernet port, HDMI, and our power cord plugs in right there. Okay, so it's a little heavier on the heavier side. It has a 3-cell 42 watt-hour battery, by the way, and it takes the standard 45 watt Dell power cord with the small barrel. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm just simply going to shut it down, and we're going to put in a new SSD. Seems there's no customer stuff on it yet, data so to speak. I'm just going to do a clean install. It goes really quick, and so I can get the 20H2 edition of Windows 10 on here, and of course get all the stuff I need from Dell's website, any extra drivers. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. We're going to open it up. But for a business type laptop in general, all purpose business use, everyday use, internet, whatever, word processing, counting, it's going to work really good with a solid state drive in it. So these are fairly easy to open up, guys. With the optical drive here, I have to remove this screw right here to slide the CD DVD drive out. So I'm going to get that screw out of the way. Try to get a hold of this. You being brand new, sliding out pretty darn easy, just like that. And over here on the side, if you look right here, there's 2 tiny little Phillips head screws here. And should be able to get a hold of them. As long as they're not boogered up, you can get a hold of them with the number 0 Phillips screwdriver that I'm using here. Always use good quality tools when you're doing projects like this. It just makes it easier, and you don't mess up screws like these little tiny guys here like this. Alright, so we got those out. I've taken out most of these screws here. I got them laid out on my little magnetic board here. There are a couple different lengths here. You need to kind of make sure you put them back in the same hole. Like this screw right here by the optical drive, that's a real short one. But as with all the new Dells, the screws along the back here will remain in the chassis. You just have to unthread them. I'll show you. I'll start with this one here. But don't worry about them not coming all the way out of the hole. Just got to get a hold of it, Dale. And I'm using, again, my number 0. A number 1, PH1 would also probably work just fine, as long as you got a good quality tip on it. So you just want to get those loosened, but they do stay in the hole, so don't worry about that. So we got to make sure we got them all out, which we do. And I'm going to take my little Spudger tool, and I'll have a link down below where you can buy some of these online in case you need one. You don't want to be sticking a screwdriver in there trying to pry off the bottom. You can mess it up pretty quick. So I'm just going to simply, actually this one we're going to go start from the top, guys. I was just trying to get it open there. So there's a very fine seam along where the palm rest up here meets the bottom chassis along the seam area. So you don't want to be pressing in here because you can see it's very thin there. So I'm going to get my tool in here and then just slip it around. And those clicks are normal. You want to hear that where it starts breaking loose. Just like that. Come back here in the back corner. Always just be careful around where the openings are on the side, like for your USB ports and stuff. You don't want to break that plastic along the edge there. Alright, so now I'm going to flip it back over carefully here. Now with any project like this, before you get inside your laptop, always make sure you're protected against static discharge. Have a surface or a wristband that you're working on so you don't get static charges inside. My bench tops in my entire shop are all built for this kind of work, and they're all anti-static, so I don't need to worry about it, as well as our floor. So always keep that in mind when you're opening these up. I don't need to wear a wristband. So you can see it comes off quite easily, okay? But when you put it back on, just be conscious of the fact that you have like a VGA port over here on the side. When you put this back on, you don't want to break these little pieces of plastic. You have to kind of put it on like that, okay? So just be careful when you put it back on, guys. So we have it opened up here. Of course, here's our battery. Here's our 2 RAM slots. It currently has a 16 gig stick in it. I asked them if they wanted another 16. They said no, not right now. 16 would be plenty. But I know this will easily support 32 gigs of RAM without any problem. Over here is our M.2 PCI Express NVMe slot right here. And here they give you the mounting screw for it as well. But we're not going to do that in this video, but it's very easy to put a M.2 drive in there. This is what we're going to place, is a 2.5-inch mechanical hard drive right here, okay? So before I do that though, I am going to take a minute here and I'm going to disconnect my battery, which is right here. I'm going to disconnect it from the motherboard. I have to get this tape off here. They got tape over it here. It's always kind of a pain to get started here. Yeah, that one they use tape. Lots of tape. I'm going to get my tool. There's a piece of tape going across here to keep that from accidentally slipping out. Kind of overkill, but gotta get it started here. No, my hand's in the way, guys. Sorry. So you can see I'm carefully peeling the tape back here, okay? And I'm not using metal tools. These are all plastic, so be conscious of that, all right? So now we should just be able to carefully slide it back. Let's get that tape undone. Sometimes they're stubborn. You got to be patient. I got to turn it here, sorry. There, okay, got it. All right, you can see it slid back towards the battery. Just be careful jerking on the wires, but it will come. Just be gentle. So we got that. I'm going to open it up again real quick, carefully. I'm going to hit my power button a couple times to get rid of any residual current that might be flowing around in there. That should be good. Now, I'm going to remove the hard drive. There is the caddy. There's a mounting screw here, there's one here, and there's one right here to lift this caddy out, and we'll disconnect our SATA cable, which runs underneath the battery and connects to the main board, okay? So let's start with this one. And like I said, a number 0 Phillips works just fine for this. Very straightforward little upgrade. We can get all fancy and put an M.2 drive over there, but again, the customer just didn't want to spend that much on this upgrade, so this is going to be 300% better having a solid state drive in here as opposed to, oh, my bad, I forgot a screw. Yikes. Get out my big hammer, I guess. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect this from the drive very carefully. Release it just like that. Alright, we'll leave that just like that. Now we're going to take the hard drive out of the caddy here. They got a Toshiba, just a standard Toshiba 1 terabyte hard drive. I'm going to cheat though, guys, just for time's sakes. I'm going to get my cordless screwdriver, back these screws out here. It's just a little quicker and easier for me. Yes, we use these all the time around the shop. When you're doing gazillions of these a week, this sometimes just speeds up the process. Not always, but sometimes. Alright, so we're going to get that old beast out of there, give that to the customer. Maybe they can put it in an external bay for an external drive, possibly. And we're going to put this in so it lines up just like the other one did. Label facing down. So we got that. The mounting screws back in. Now these, you don't want to go crazy over tightening these. Just snug. And the clean install should go quite quickly on this. A lot of activity out there today. So if you have this DELL Vostro 3590, now you know what it looks like on the inside, and you got quite a few options for upgrading here. I'm tempted just to throw another 16 gig stick of RAM in there for them on the house, but I didn't want to buy it right now, so catch them next time hopefully. Alright, so we got it mounted in our caddy. I'm going to reconnect it here carefully. It'll give you a lot of wiggle room here. Gotta get it started. Get my little spudger here. There we go. Alright, just make sure it's in all the way. Line it back up over our holes. Just like that. Don't see many new laptops anymore with optical drives in them, but again, these business laptops, even from Lenovo, but Dell especially. In the business world, sometimes they're still needed. I don't know why I missed that screw. I said there was 3. There's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My bad. Alright. Alright, so, said, not doing the M.2. There's our 2.5 inch 1 terabyte drive. So I'm going to hook the battery back up here very carefully. Alright, so we're just going to line it up and hopefully push it back in. Got to get my little tool over there, sorry. There's not a lot of room. Sometimes it's easier on some of these like this just to physically remove the battery. There's usually only 3, 4, 5 little screws that you got to pop out. Alright, just got to get it lined up and push it back in until it's even along here. I got to twist it again here because it's there. You want to snap in. So we're good on that. Alright, just put your tape back down. We're going to put our bottom cover back on, but once you hook that battery back up, be careful. So as I'm putting this on, I'm kind of starting on this side so I can line this up along the edge here like this. So our VGA port sticks out the way it's supposed to. And I'm going to carefully get it back in place. I'm not going to put all the screws in it right now. I want to get the windows installed just to make sure there's no issues. Shouldn't be. I am going to tighten up these screws along the back here, however. They're kind of slightly protruding. I got lots of videos on upgrades like this, guys, so if you want to do some binge watching, go watch some of my upgrade videos, cloning and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put my 2 screws back in over here in my optical bay. Just want to get that drive back in there when I do the clean install, just in case. Like I said, use good quality tools, good tips. These little projects should be a breeze. Alright, I'll put those in when I'm done, the rest of those screws. But for right now, I'm just going to flip it around. Can you hand me the flash drive up there, buddy? The 20H2. Thank you, sir. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my AC adapter. Try to put the optical drive back in. Get that in there for the moment. Plug in my AC adapter. Just going to walk you through this quick setup here. These go pretty quick on these solid state drives. I'm going to plug in my flash drive that I got Windows 10 installation on. They're easy to make. It's free. Just download the Windows 10 Media Creation tool. I'll have a link down below the video where you can download the tool onto your computer to make one of these to install Windows. Whether it's Pro or Home, doesn't matter. It will activate just fine. So we'll put it in the USB port. I'll turn on the laptop. And see if it'll default to that drive. If not, we'll bring up the boot menu. Yeah, hard drives are just kind of a dying breed there. So I'm going to start the Windows install here. I'm going to choose English, United States, because that's where I'm at. Click Install Now. I'm not going to partition this drive. I know some people like to partition their drives, which is totally fine. But in this instance, I'm not going to do that. It's just not necessary. I'm going to accept the license terms. Click Next. I always choose Custom so I can see there's my unallocated 1 terabyte drive. Click Next. I'm going to copy over all the Windows files, and I won't bore you with all this, guys. I'll be back and walk you through the quick Windows 10 setup once this is done. I'll be right back. Alright guys, just finished copying all the files over off the flash drive. Oh, actually I booted off the flash drive. My bad. Let me pop it out. Yes, I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to pop it out because I booted off the flash drive again. Sorry, don't want to do that. As soon as it copies the files over and it gets through all that, finishing up, and you restart, just get rid of your flash drive. Everything's on here that you need to finalize the Windows 10 install. Sorry, I just got 20 different projects going over here, and sometimes my mind gets a little confused. So this is going to run a lot better with a solid state drive versus a mechanical hard drive. Boot time on this wasn't the greatest. Yes, it's only an i3. It's not a gaming laptop, but it's a good solid business type computer, just everyday home use. Nice solid feel to it. Still has the wide bezel around it, as you can see. But Dell's still cranking out these Vostros. They're very popular computers in the business world. Probably more so than just for home use. Then you just get an Inspiron 15. Then you won't get the optical drive and of course the VGA port they stick on the side. Sometimes VGA ports can be kind of handy for certain instances. As far as activation, when you buy a new computer and you put in a new drive and you have to reinstall Windows or clone or whatever, it's 99.99% of the time you're not going to have any trouble activating, because you don't get product keys when you buy new laptops or new desktops for that matter. They don't have the COA stuck on the side or on the bottom anymore. They just don't do that. Windows 10 is basically free. You'll never have to pay for your operating system again. You can still upgrade for free from Windows 7 to Windows 10, Windows 8, 8.1 to Windows 10. Sorry guys, I wasn't going to bore you all with all this, but I'm going to let this finish get. Oh, we're just about there. Never mind. At least it's not snowing like crazy today. I thought it would never stop snowing yesterday, you know? Oh, rebooting again. So the customer is going to take this, they're going to get their Office 365 installed, and they're going to take care of all that. I'm just doing the solid state upgrade from the hard drive. It came with a decent amount of memory, 16 gigs of DDR4. It's 2666 megahertz RAM, which isn't too bad. Full HD display. I just want to walk you through the Windows setup here so we can get into Windows, make sure everything's good with our drive. I'm sure it's going to be. But check out some more of my videos. I got lots of videos I've done on these types of upgrades. Alright, we're in the United States here, so I'm going to choose that as my region. And keyboard layout is US, yes. I'm going to skip additional layouts. You can do all this stuff later in settings. When I get to this point of the install, just to speed things up a little bit, I choose I don't have internet. Unless you want to set up your Microsoft account or an existing one that you have, that's fine. But when I'm getting these ready this way, I just need to do it quickly. A customer can do all that later. And for now, I'm just going to call it user. I don't need a password to get into it. Oh, did I hit a key? Uh-oh. Did I hit a key? Maybe I hit the 4. Let me go back. Let me go back. Yeah, when I hit the enter key there, I think I must have hit the 4 or the 7 over there. Wasn't paying attention there. That would have been my password. Yikes. Yeah, I don't want a password. So yeah, we all make mistakes. So I turn all this stuff off. I leave the location on, but privacy reasons, I just always turn that stuff off. Again, all this can be controlled later in settings. Not now for Cortana. Let it finish up here. Howdy. And we'll get into Windows, make sure our drive's all shown up the way it's supposed to. Again, it's not partitioned. Again, you can do that if you want. I'm just not doing partitions on solid state drives. Shouldn't take too long, guys. Of course, when I'm all done, I'll put all my screws back in. But for like 10 bucks, you can buy a 2.5-inch USB enclosure to put these hard drives in, and got a nice little 1 terabyte external hard drive. Come on. It's like waiting for paint to dry, isn't it?
Seems like 20H2 actually takes a little longer than previous versions of Windows, right?
I've noticed that too, just a hair bit. I think so too. Almost there. Boom, we're there. All right. Searching for drivers, that's fine. We're not connected to the internet. Let me just, I'll just right click. It's already tons faster. Boom, there's our 1 terabyte drive, there's our optical drive, we're good there. Let me just double check. Gotta wake up, Dale. Go to Performance tab here. There's CPU, i3, here's our memory, 16 gigs of RAM, we're good there. I'm just gonna go to settings real quick. And you can see, it's not asking me to activate. I'm not even connected to the internet, and Windows is activated. So we're good to go, guys. I hope the video was helpful. Check out some of my other stuff. If you liked it, give me a like. If you loved it, give me a sub. I appreciate y'all watching. Have a super day.